All right, well, welcome everybody. Can you hear me in the back? Can you hear me in the back? Yes? Okay, make sure. So my name is Ron Tubin. I'm a professor, associate professor of physics at Kettering University in Flint, Michigan, and I am the zone counselor for Zone 7. So the National Council of the Society of Physics Students has zone counselors, typically faculty or physics professionals who sit on the council for 3-year terms. And then they have associate zone counselors who are students who sit on the council for 1-year terms. And so the associate zone counselor is Jacob Phillips. He's a second year on the National Council. So we're going to just give you an overview of some of the programs and activities of the National Council, tell you a little bit about it if you haven't heard much about it. We just got back a few weeks ago in September from a meeting. We have one in-person meeting per year. And so we're going to give you some updates about that. If at any point in time you have questions, just raise your hand and we'll try to get those answered, right? So, but welcome. Thank you for coming out for this kickoff meeting. It's great to see so many people here. We'd like to thank folks here at Marietta College for sponsoring the Physics Student Zone meeting. We typically have 1 or 2 of these meetings every year, and we've been doing them in conjunction with Eastern Great Lakes section meetings for a while now, and I think it works out pretty well. But yeah, thanks to everybody, all the officers and chapter advisor for putting this all together. It does take some work to make this happen. We'd also like to thank the Eastern Great Lakes section for working with us to make this possible. And finally, we just want to make a note. How many people here are members of the American Physical Society? Great. Woo! All right. Excellent. So if you join the Society of Physics students, you get to choose 2 professional memberships, okay? And one of those can, in fact, be American Physical Society. It's really important that if you do that you make sure that you select and you join the Eastern Great Lakes section. Why? Because the section gets a little bit of money for each member that it has. People who put down. It doesn't cost you anything, but if you put down the you're a member of the Eastern Great Lakes section, the section gets some money, and it helps to run these meetings, right? Helps to provide scholarships for students to come to meetings and other things. So please make sure that if you're not a member of the Eastern Great Lakes section, that you join, okay? It's free. It's free.
It's free.
It's free. You don't have to do anything. Just make sure that when you register, you put that down. Okay, so welcome to our kickoff here. Let's see. Do you want to run introduction somehow? What do you?
Yeah, sure. I'm
okay.
Just go on to.
Do you want to just go around people talk, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah. So we've got us.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Okay.
So Dr. Kuman already introduced himself. Again, I'm Jacob Calebs. I'm your associate zone counselor. It's my 2nd year on the council. I'm term limited 2 years. I'm from Wayne State University in Detroit. I just graduated with my bachelor's, going off to grad school next year, hopefully. So we'll figure that out. So yeah, let's just get quick introductions from everyone. Give us your name, affiliation, and maybe just to keep things short, just what field of physics you're getting into, particle, astro, what have you. So I'm just going to point at people. So we're going to start here.
Okay. Hi, hello. My name's Adrian. I'm from Marietta College, so here. And I'm an imposter. I don't do physics. I do geology and planetary science, but my research has some physics stuff in it, so that's why I'm here.
That's awesome. Everything is physics.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm also from Marietta College, and I'm really interested in the condensed matter.
Beautiful.
I'm Muffet. I'm also from Marietta College, and I guess I'm interested in particle physics, but I'm not.
Sure, awesome.
Hi, I'm Victoria Thomas. I'm from Youngstown State, and probably nuclear physics.
I'm Brett Laws. I'm from Youngstown State, and I'm actually a chemical engineer. Very nice.
Awesome. We're from Youngstown State in Charlotte.
Hey, I'm astrophysics.
I'm Joseph Borges. I'm from YSU and also that's what I want to do.
Further fun?
Yeah, my name's Roman Stepanovic. I'm from Youngstown State University and I'm studying astrophysics. Sounds very fun.
Gotcha. I'm Zane Rico. I'm from YSU and I'm doing high energy physics.
I'm Declan Ty. I'm also from Youngstown and I'm also doing astro.
Yeah. I'm Irfan and I'm majoring in computer science, but I'm interested in quantum computation.
Awesome.
My name is James Kilmeyer and I'm majoring in physics and my interest is material science and condensed matter physics.
My name's Rylan. I'm from Mountain. I don't know what it is.
I'm Thomas Terzu. I'm from Mount Union. I'm not sure yet.
Gotcha. I'm Christian Finn from Mountain Union, high energy physics.
Energy business.
I'm Luke from Morris Tech, and right now I'm doing research in particle physics using STEM.
Someone else from Michigan, awesome.
Yeah, I'm Christopher CJ McKenzie. I'm from Lawrence Tech as well, and yeah, I'm also interested in particle physics.
My name is Alex. I'm from West Virginia Wesleyan College. I'm really interested in electrical.
West Virginia.
Hi, I'm Tina. I'm from West Virginia Wesleyan College, and I like astrophysics and aerospace.
My name is Sean McBride. I'm an associate professor at Particle University. Also the PS chapter, but
I'm Kaylin. I'm from Albion College, and I'm interested in astrophysics and astrochemistry.
Cross.
I'm your Bella from Quiet Cars. I'm just know me or astrophysics.
Go around that table. All right, I'm Sean Powers, Mount Union, doesn't matter.
I'm Leo Sanchez, and I'm also from Mount Union. My interest is filmmaking.
I'm Emily Brony. I'm a partial imposter, so my major in biomedical engineering, but I'm a physics minor, so I'm only partial. But I guess I would be considered by physics.
My name is Aditya from Merida College here, and I am interested in either low temperature plasma or high temperature plasma, high temperature or high plasma.
I'm Colin. I'm from Columbus, but go here at Merida College. I'm a senior physics and math major. My research is material engineering for lithium batteries.
My name's Natalie. I go to Merritt College, and my interest is in physics.
Let's do this table.
My name's Ryan Shears. I'm from Albion College, and I'm sure about my grade.
I'm Damian Jarris. I'm from Albion College in computational and translational neuroscience. Morris Saeed, also Albion College, and I probably want to go into network science.
To that table. Yep.
My name is Josh. I go to our university and science.
I'm John, I'm also from YU, I'm dominantly interested in quantum mechanics, but.
That's actually really cool. First time I've had someone marketing.
Let's move over a table.
I'm Trey Marks. I'm from Ohio State University. Interested in high energy plasma.
I'm Ava. I'm also the positive thing, the science and data science, but I teach them.
Phil physics.
I just rose when I say and then also something period that I I'm lost.
I say,
I'm Billy.
I'm my biomedical engineer, and I'm recommending you.
I'm Alex. I'm from Ohio State and I'm Malton.
Wow. I'm from Ohio State, and I'm interested in that matter.
Got back at the table, we're almost done.
Oh.
Yes. Keep going back. Do you have anyone with us in the back? Well, the reason I wanted to take that just all the way through is that we could get an idea of the fact that we're all so diverse in what we do, from marketing to honestly, that's amazing that we have marketing, neuroscience, astrophysics. I do astrophysics. I also do galaxy evolution and cosmology related stuff. So if you heard something that interests you, go and talk to that person. Go and talk to others and see what they're doing in their fields. It'll be a great time, especially during the poster sessions and oral presentations, to do that. So just wanted to touch up on that and take some extra time for that. So I guess we can move on from there. You want to do this?
Okay, yeah. So just so everybody knows we're on the same page. So Society of Physics students and Sigma Pi Sigma. I want to talk both about those two organizations. The Society of Physics students open to everyone. We're interested in physics or astronomy. We're explicitly now including people in astronomy. It was sort of implied previously, but now it's sort of part of our official documents. Basically, it's constructed from chapters at universities all over the country. We have more than 860 chapters in the United States and even some overseas. And it's really primarily focused on undergraduate students, but if you're just a year or two out, we also like to make sure that we support you as well. Sigma Pi Sigma is a physics honor society component, and basically it's housed in conjunction with the SPS. It's basically there are certain requirements to be able to join, but it's not supposed to be sort of exclusive. We're just trying to make sure that we're going to put some honor into the honor society, right? So each individual chapter can have its own criteria for who can join. Typically, there's some baseline requirements from the national organization, but otherwise, individual chapters can make some decisions about that. In addition, it also can honor students who are maybe not be the best GPAs, but they've done a lot of service to Society of Physics students or Sigma Pi Sigma, and so they can join as well, typically in their senior year. So once you join Sigma Pi Sigma, you're a member for life, and there's been historically over 80,000 people who have joined since its founding back over 100 years ago. So they're linked but distinct. That's what usually we say. Okay.
How many have been inducted into Sigma Pi Sigma?
People. Okay, great.
People.
Yeah, so super. If you don't have a Sigma Pi Sigma chapter at your university and you would like to have one, please come talk to us and we can help you out. Okay. So basically there's the mission statement for SPS is to make sure that students can transform themselves into professionals in the physics community and the astronomy community. So basically, everyone takes courses in physics. Typically, they're physics students, but there are other things you need to be successful. So, for example, being an effective communicator, having good personal interactions with people, demonstrating leadership, establishing a network. Okay, with people around you here. These are your network. Presenting your work at professional meetings, like something you'll be doing here in posters or oral presentations and publishing in journals, and reaching out, doing outreach to campus communities. It's important to hand that off to younger students who are coming up still. So I can go ahead.
So this is going to start breaking down what is SPS. If you want to take charge. So what is SPS? So it's a national level organization, and we break up the entire US into zones. We even reach off, we can't quite see it here, but it reaches off to some foreign countries, including China, Singapore, Brazil. I think we recently did one in the Philippines. So we branch off. What was that? Iraq. Yep. We also have a chapter in Iraq. But mainly we are Zone 7, the Lower Peninsula of Michigan, Ohio, West Virginia, and just a sliver of Pennsylvania up to about Philadelphia. Pittsburgh. Look at me. I haven't had enough coffee yet today. Pittsburgh. So that is zone 7. That is what Ron and I are representing on the national level. Now, in terms of the governance, it's broken down. Of course, we have SPS, a chapter-based organization, and then we have the National Council, which is kind of like the legislative body or the governing body for SPS, of which Ron and I are members of. We have annual meetings in person. In those meetings, we serve on committees. So you might have seen emails about burnout. The burnout committee, they sent out a survey about what's causing burnout, how we can combat that. We also, in our 18 zones, of course, as Ron touched on, we have a zone counselor, who's typically a faculty or staff member. It's a 3-year term. And then the associate zone counselor is a 1-year term, and it's for the students. And we have one associate zone counselor that sits on the executive committee, which is kind of like the executive body of the National Council. They essentially are the voice of the associate zone counselors and students on the executive committee. And any student can run for AZC.
I do want to point out that this squishmallow spherical cow right here is the same one right here. So I made it into the National Council picture this year. So
The small ones. I think one of the little gasps. Yes, he sits under the hat.
okay, so here's the executive committee. So it's consists of various people who are, for example, including the chief executive officer for the American Institute of Physics, which is kind of an umbrella organization for a bunch of different physics groups, professional societies. Kirill Streletsky, who's the president, he's at Cleveland State University. Blaine Baker, Sigma Pi Sigma president. Hannah Jang Kundell, who's an AIP member at large. Leo Illing, who's an associate zone counselor. He just was elected this September. Earl Blodgett, who's a historian. He's been around for 20-some years or more. And then Alejandro de la Puente, he's the new executive director for Society of Physics students. He just took over last June. He kind of supervises all the rest of the folks who are in the national office. It's a small group, but they're really great people. So Kayla Stevens, assistant director for Society of Physics students. Michaela Cleaver, she's the programs coordinator. Lydia Quijada, who's the membership coordinator, and Sacha Durham, who's the SPS administrator. So if you call the national office, you need to talk to somebody about things. Most likely, you'll be talking to one of these people. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead. Do you want to talk about zone council?
Yeah, so a big thing that we've been doing in zone 7 that not any other zone has been doing is something called the zone council, which is kind of this group of students who work to organize bigger events, such as zone meetings. Maybe if we want to plan a field trip, we're going to be the students that collaborate over this. Okay, what do we want to do? What do we need to do? How do we get people organized for this event? This past year, it was myself as the chair of the zone council, Charlotte Bimson from Case Western, and Tally Lansing from College of Worcester, and Peter Burberry, who's from Marshall. But this year, it's just myself, Charlotte, and Tally. If you're interested in being on the zone council, which we just meet here and there, maybe once a month over a Zoom call to discuss what we want to do for the zone. If you want to help out with this, come and see me. I'd be more than happy to have you on the zone council, cue you into those discussions, and have you hop in for the Zoom call so we can get your input as well.
Yeah, we're particularly interested in getting some folks from West Virginia and Pennsylvania since we don't have anyone. So please talk to us. Okay, so what does SPS Zone 7 do for you? Well, several things. First of all, we represent you at the National Council meetings. So if you have concerns about things you'd like to see happen at the national level, talk to us. We can try to get those communicated. We're doing what we're doing right now, trying to communicate things about our SPS programs and activities. We do help coordinate these zone meetings in conjunction with local chapters. And we also try to facilitate interaction between chapters whenever we can. So, for example, we have a newsletter that goes out to officers and advisors. If you are an officer and advisor and you're not getting that, then please let me know, because you should be on that list already. Sometimes we don't get updates every year. So if you're not getting on the list and you want to, please let us know. And so we try to put out in that newsletter things about what's going on around the zone that we know about. Or if you have events that you're organizing at your university or college and you want to get people to know about it, let us know. We'll put that in the newsletter. Okay. So that's what we're here for. Okay, you want to talk about this? Go ahead.
Yeah, so some activities that Ron and I have done over the course of the previous year. Of course, we have our national council meetings. We meet in DC once a year, and then we have Zoom calls to discuss as a national council. We went over the chapter reports already, so I would expect in the next couple of months. Well, when do they send those out?
Usually it's in December, January.
December, January, you should be expecting emails and letters from the national office about your chapter awards. Of course, we met with the zone council to plan out different things like the zone meeting and the Cleveland State University Eclipse meeting. We also had a zone meeting in spring at Kettering University. And as I already said, the Eclipse event at CSTU.
Okay, how many people got the information handbook this year? Okay, so you should have gotten a mailing from the national office with this information handbook and a bunch of posters, right? If you're not getting those mailings, let me know because we can get those things out to you, okay? It's important for us, for you to get this information. So this is a great little book. It's also available online, so if you scan the code, you should be able to get that. And it talks about all the different kinds of things that these scientific students does, including important things like scholarships and award and the deadlines for those things, and how to become a Sigma Pi Sigma member and all those kinds of important information. So there's also a complete list of all the chapters. You can look up your charter day whenever your chapter was actually filed officially to become a chapter of Society of Physics Students.
This really is a one-stop shop. It's got a lot of great information, kind of like what we're talking about here today. I highly recommend that you check this out online and make sure that you're getting it mailed to you each year. Anyone, any other pictures? Cool. These will be made available to y'all.
Okay, so if you are a member of Society of Physics Students, then and we'll talk about that right later on.
Yes.
A member. Yep. So if you're a member, then you'll get during the school year every 2 weeks they'll send out a newsletter called SPS News, and it talks about some of all the programs that are available, things that are coming up. Mainly, things like scholarship opportunities, upcoming zone meetings, upcoming national meetings, so that you can keep up with what's going on. Also, some information about the Physics and Astronomy Congress. We'll talk more about that later. Okay, so we also have a website. How many people know that we have a website, Society of Physics Students Zone 7? Not everybody. Okay, great. So now you know. So here we have a website here. You can just do a Google search on SPS Zone 7. It'll probably come up near the top, but you can also do code here. We have a YouTube channel. Okay, so we try to record these kind of kickoff meetings and other events. We put that up on the YouTube channel. We have some panel discussions with there, for example, with some people, some undergraduates who went off directly to work in industry. That was pretty interesting. And then finally, we have a Discord server that if you want to keep up with what's going on, we're trying to get more people involved with that. So feel free to join these or take a look at what's on the websites. The website, for example, contains a list of all the chapters in our zone. It contains historical sort of background about all the various different zone meetings we've had for the last 5 or 6 years. So it's lots of good information.
I really want people to join the Discord. We want to make a lot more use of this Discord just for informal communication. So I highly encourage you, join Discord. It's a cool app anyways. We're taking pictures. I'll let you take your pictures real quick. Are we good? Yes.
Well, these slide these available.
Well, I will link them to the website. And then we can, if you put your email address down on the sign-in sheet, then I'll send them out.
Oh yeah, have we been passing around the notebook? Notebook with pen? Okay, so that's
Sign in.
going. Good.
Yeah.
So this is a really good thing, is SPS member benefits. So I'll talk in a moment about how you can do it, what the costs are, but in terms of the actual benefits, you get that SPS Observer magazine 3 times a year, plus the JERPA magazine, which is kind of like the undergraduate publications. Here is an example of JERPA. Undergrad publications go into here from SPS. You also get a copy of Physics Today magazine each month. SPS membership gives you access to apply for scholarships, grants, internships, and all these other cool resources we're going to talk about a bit later. Yeah, you get 2 free memberships to AIP member societies. There's about 10 AIP member societies like AAS, APS, the Optics Society. There's a whole bunch. There's about 10 of them, I believe. You get to pick 2 for free.
Just to be clear about this, if I join any of those societies, it's typically $100 to $200 a piece. Okay, so it's a good deal.
It's an amazing deal. You also get SPS News, the newsletter. You get lots of resources for your career and graduate school, travel support to local meetings. We have travel scholarships and reporter awards, the SPS awards. You also can get joint membership for the National Society of Black Physicists or the National Society of Hispanic Physicists. And there's also a whole slew of demonstration tutorials online, the SOC outreach kits, and other materials that we'll cover a bit later. Now, annual dues are $24, but there are group discounts. So for a 1-year membership, you can do $24 for just yourself, and it's going to be instant. You can do a group membership so that if you have over 5 people signing up at once, you get a 25% discount on that. Or the best deal is 200 memberships for $350. At Wayne State University, I convinced my department chair to fork up that $350 and sign up our entire physics department into SPS. If you talk to your department head or your dean or whoever you need to talk to, you can potentially get that $350 and sign up your whole department for a full year. It's the best way of doing it, in my personal opinion. So if you need help with that, we're more than happy to help you get that money through your university. Do you want to touch on Sigma Pi Sigma?
Yeah, so a little more about Sigma Pi Sigma, the Physics Honor Society. So basically, there are 4 pillars of Sigma Pi Sigma. Its mission is to honor scholarship, encourage interest in physics, promote service, and provide fellowship. So typically people will join as an undergraduate, but you can also join as a graduate student or even as a faculty or professional. For undergraduates, it's based typically on their GPA and or service. Graduate students typically on coursework and their service, and faculty is typically their professional accomplishments. There is a special class of honorary memberships, which is given at the national level. So if there's someone who has done a lot of exemplary work in physics or to the society, they can get one of those memberships. So there's a ton of information available. If you would like to run an induction ceremony at your university or college, then there's a whole bunch of websites here which can walk you through the process. There's some slides you can even download to help you run through the ceremony, or you can just do it your own way too. But this is a nice things here. There's some websites where you can go and order put in the requests to have people be inducted. They'll send you very nice sets of certificates and pins and pens, and it's a really, really nice thing. So we'll send this out and you can take a look at those links.
This is literally, it will give you a timeline of when you should be submitting stuff for the inductions. It's got the entire timeline to get your induction in place. So it's a great resource to do that each year.
Okay, so there's a ton of programs available through the national office that you should know about. So first and foremost, awards and grants, right? You can see the dollar signs right here, right? If you're a member, you can apply for these, all right? And they have, these are scholarships. Some of them are $2,000, $3,000, okay, or more. So, and sometimes, some years, they don't even get completely subscribed to. They have less people than they actually, they give the money away. So we don't want that to happen. We want to get the money out. So make sure you go check those out. They have, most of the due dates for those are in the fall and the spring, right? Yeah. So, and there's also, like mentioned, the grants. So for example, maybe you want to go to a professional meeting. Sure, maybe it's the American Physical Society, maybe it's a different meeting. You can apply for money to help cover the cost of the travel, okay? If you're presenting, or even if you just want to go check it out, they have these reporter awards where you go and then you can write up an article, and then they'll give you money for that. So, yeah. Sure. So in any case, also want to talk about, we talked about the publications already. There's career resources, outreach resources, an alumni engagement program, and physics conference. So we're going to talk about these individually.
Before we move too much deeper into the actual resources, do we have any questions before going into these major resources? Nope. All right, now let's get into the resources then. So one big thing, of course, as Ron just said, awards and grants. We want to get this money out to you. Not enough people are applying for these scholarships and awards, so the money is just sitting there. We need applications to come in so we can give you this money. We're just dying to give you money, honestly. They say this every single national council meeting. So we have some of the awards that are due November 15th. Those applications are obviously still out there. You need to get out there November 15th. They typically start September 1st. You have Future Faces of Physics, Chapter Research, Marsh W. White. So a few of these are more so for the research aspect of things. You have a big research project you did. Some of them are outreach oriented. Some of them are from Sigma Pi Sigma engagement. All of the requirements are listed on the SPS national website. You just have to look up awards and grants, and it will explicitly tell you what the award amounts are and what you need to be providing in the application to apply for that award. The ones that not as urgent right now is the spring awards that are due March 15th. So we have plenty more time to apply for those. This is in the way, but these open January 2nd. So on January 2nd, you can start applying for these awards, which is mostly the scholarships, the undergraduate research, and the outstanding chapter advisor. That's a big one that we announce at the National Council meeting every year in September, which awards $5,000. So if you think your advisor needs to get $5,000, you should be applying for the Outstanding Chapter Advisor Award. It's a very, very big award.
Actually, it's actually $6,000 now. I think we forgot to update this.
Oh yeah,
and part of the money actually goes to your chapter. It doesn't all go to the advisors, and part of it goes to your department as well.
Yes.
So, gotcha.
Oh, thank you for that. I forgot that it was $6,000 now, so even better. And then some other ones that are rolling are things like the SPS Travel Awards. So they will fund members that are traveling to and presenting at national conferences, such as APS section meetings. We also have the SPS Research Awards and then the SPS Reporter Awards. So if you go to a national physics meeting and you write up a report about that meeting, then they can award $250 per student. Or you can do it virtually and get $75.
I just have a little story about that. So I had a student, he wanted to go to Physics Congress last time around. And so we had him apply. He got to interview a Nobel laureate, okay, at the meeting. Basically had a one-on-one with him for like an hour and then wrote an article about it. I mean, how cool is that? He got paid money, talked to a Nobel laureate for an hour. I mean, that's great. So it's a great opportunity.
And these are rolling. So you just you can send in the applications year round.
Okay, so yeah, so there's some service awards as well. If there's some people that maybe someone in your department who has done a lot of work with Society of Physics students or with Sigma Pi Sigma, you can nominate them for these awards. And it's a nice way to honor people for their service, okay, for the work that they do for you all.
We have it for SPS and Sigma Pi Sigma, so you can do both awards if you really want to acknowledge someone for what they've done for the chapter or physics in general. Ooh, another big thing is the SPS internship program. I know I'm going to be submitting an application for this. So it's essentially kind of like an REU, a research experience for undergrads, but it's through SPS. There are 13 program host sites. For example, any of my astrophysics people, Space Telescope Science Institute, they have an opening for an internship. This is a summer internship, over 3 months. It's paid for. I'll just go to the screen and show you the information on it. It's a 10-week paid internship in Washington, D.C. One of my friends told me that they got all the funding, plus they cover your housing. So you don't have to pay extra for the housing out of that stipend you're getting. There's many different fields of research, mostly science research, science policies, that legislative part of it, outreach, career development, and education. You get to participate in a whole bunch of development opportunities. The stipend is $6,500. They will give you shared housing, and there's also travel reimbursement to and from Washington, D.C. And they'll also give you some money if you want to go off and present at that research or the work you did at a professional conference. You have to be an SPS member. So, like we talked about before with the dues and whatnot, you have to be a member. You have to demonstrate interest in one or more of the top areas. So, policy, the research, whatever you want. You need at least 2 years of college physics, and then U.S. citizenship may be required for some of them. I know something like Space Telescope Science Institute, I'm pretty sure requires U.S. citizenship, but it depends on the site.
I talked with one of the interns. She ended up working for Physics Today, which is the national magazine that goes out, and she actually wrote an article and it got published in the magazine at the end of the summer. So great opportunity if you want to get into something like that.
The applications will open November 15th, so it's coming up to start soon, and they will be due by January 15th. All right?
This is fairly competitive, so if you want to get in, make sure you're up.
It's very competitive.
SPS Observer. Okay. So basically, this is the so there's a magazine which goes out. If you're a member, you'll get this. And it kind of has some nice articles about things that are going on. This is how physics students give you some ideas about things you can do with your chapter. To give as updates about different awards or the things we've been talking about here. So those of you who've written chapter reports, okay, we read those. We read every single one of the chapter reports that you submit. And some of those, then especially if you submit a section of that where you want to get it published in the Observer, they'll put those articles in there as well. So they also will highlight things like alumni, what people have done after they get their physics degree. So you've got to get a sense of what some of the opportunities are that you might not have thought about. So here are just some examples. Typically, they'll pick a theme. So there's one here on the conferences for undergraduate women in physics. Combating burnout. There was one in grad school more recently. So lots of great resources. Okay, yeah, JERPA is the Journal of Undergraduate Research in Physics and Astronomy. So this is a peer-reviewed journal. Okay, they actually have a DOI number that comes out for these, and there's one going around there. You can feel if there's some at the top table, you can check it out at the end of the meeting here. So this is for things that maybe didn't quite work out to go full on to a major journal, but you still want to get published, and it's great to have that on your CV, your resume. Again, you can submit this. It's a rolling submission, but priority is by March 15th for the issue for the next year. Okay, so again, check that out.
So there's lots of outreach resources. One of the most prominent being the Science Outreach Catalyst Kit, or SOC. It's just a nice little box with with outreach resources in it that typically has a theme for experiments and things that you can do. For this year, it's all about dragonflies. So I was looking over, I thought it was really cool. So it's like dragonfly flight, their vision, color perception, a whole bunch of things associated with dragonflies. So it's a whole bunch of physics demos you can essentially do in this one shoebox size box, essentially. We also have a SPS demonstrations library. It's an online library of videos, 35 demonstrations, and you can do it with limited funding. So it's pretty easy to get the materials together, conduct the demos, and they're great for doing outreach with elementary schools or secondary schools or just around for the general public. And we also have Physics Jeopardy, which we will be playing tomorrow. I'm pretty sure every year SPS National makes up a Physics Jeopardy. You can download it online. And you can contribute to it if you really want to. Just email sps@aip.org for a template of it.
So it's a great kind of thing. You just run at a meeting, right? Understood. Yeah, we want everyone to be able to get a job, right? After they finish their physics degree program. And so there's a very nice, how many people heard about SPS jobs? Not many people, right? So now you know. So this is a website which there's postings there for internships, for regular, full-time jobs even. And so you can go there. It's specifically focused for physics students, all right? So check that out. It's a great opportunity. There's also associated with that a career toolbox, which kind of gives you some tips for how to prepare for careers. This is developed out of the National Science Foundation grant. So some skills, how to build a resume, how to do interviews, write cover letters, all great skills that you need to have to actually get a job. Grad school shopper. Anybody here? Grad school shopper? No. Okay.
How many people are planning on going to graduate school?
Okay. Well, you should check out grad school.
This is amazing. It just lists all of the programs on there for, OSU, Michigan State, every college that has a physics degree in graduate school, be it master's or PhD, experimental or theoretical, or both. It has a whole list of all of those universities, what the program details are, acceptance rates. It has the due dates for them. It leads you to the websites that you need to look into it. It's an awesome, awesome tool. Trust me, I have the spreadsheet. I can filter out the spreadsheet to specific concentrations, and it will lead you into that. It's an amazing tool if you plan on going to grad school. So please use this. It's awesome.
Okay, so sometimes, maybe you're trying to set up a meeting at your school, or you want to get a speaker, someone related to physics, you don't know anybody. Here we go, alumni engagement program. Okay, so these are people who are typically who are physics people, and there were some of them have even been associated with the Society of Physics students previously, and they're now physics professionals, and or related to physics in some way. And so you can contact them. They're sort of pre-screened. They want to give talks. And you can go to the website and you can get their contact information and you can reach out to them. We've done it at our school. I know other folks have as well. So, or if maybe you just want to find out, maybe you find somebody on this list that maybe I want to be like that person. You can set up an informational interview. They're willing to talk to students. That's why they're on this list. Okay, they want to talk to students. So check that out. Physics Congress. Okay, so now the Physics and Astronomy Congress. So basically every 3 years, there's a gathering of primarily undergraduate students, about 1,200 typically last few congresses, and we'll gather it together in one place. Last time it was Washington, D.C. This next time it's going to be in Denver, Colorado. And the whole idea is to get all these students together and do networking. There's a set of, usually they run a sort of fun activities to do during the day. They have great speakers. I think we have more about speakers, right?
Yeah.
So the theme for this one's is called Supporting Our Phase Shifts. And this is technically the activity of the Society of Sigma Pi Sigma, but SPS is involved as well. So this one here then is going to be, the next one's in downtown Denver. It's going to be October 30th to November 1st, 2025. So it's going to be over the Halloween weekend there. There's going to be several poster sessions so you can present your work. There's going to be some folks, kind of a member day for Sigma Pi Sigma folks and alumni. The University of Colorado Denver is going to sponsor a high energy hot chocolate and game night. There's going to be a club and chapter showcase. So if you've got some interesting things, we usually set up a whole bunch of tables and every chapter gets a table. You can show off the stuff that you're doing in your chapter. A bunch of workshops, as I mentioned. They're going to go to some tours. Typically right before it begins, they'll do tours of regional laboratories. They're going to go out to, I think, the University of Colorado, National Institutes of Standards and Technology, a bunch of different places around the Denver and Boulder areas. There's a lunch with the scientists. They'll invite people, professionals in from the outside, and you can sit down and have lunch with them during the Congress.
One really cool thing, Dame Jocelyn Bell Burnell is typically at the PhysCon every time we do it. She loves talking to students. She'll take people out to breakfast and just talk to them about what they're doing in their undergrad. She's absolutely amazing. And if you want, you can look, if you look up SPS Physics Congress, and you go to the website, they've got a whole bunch of resources to help with fundraising to get you and members of your chapter to FizCon. Has a whole calculator of an estimated cost of how much it'll be to get to FizCon, methods for fundraising. It's an excellent resource.
So I'll just mention, these people are really approachable.
Yes.
They usually have like a dance party on Saturday night, the last night. Eric Cornell, I think spent two and a half or 3 hours as Nobel laureate just signing autographs. He's a really great guy. So. All right, lots of ways to keep up with Society of Physics students. They're on all the major platforms. Here's a QR code. You can check that out.
And now, oh yeah. So the next meeting, this is tentative right now. We know that the next APS EGLS meeting is going to be at Wright State University, right here in the heart of Ohio. We don't quite have details for the SPS portion of it yet, but that will be displayed in coming newsletters. But it is still going to be the APS EGLS meeting at the very least at Wright State University. So we'll get a lot more details out to you these next few months as we lead up to
It's going to be in early April, the second weekend in April, probably.
Yes. Now, the next big thing, we have a little bit of time before we go off to a break and then go off to, I believe it's another plenary?
Yeah.
For poster session. Posters after. So we'll get into the posters soon here. I guess I want more of this to be questions. Do we have any questions about anything regarding SPS from the resources we have? Or maybe you have an issue in your chapter that you want to address and you need a little bit of input. Do we have anything we want to talk about? Any questions or anything? I open up the floor. Let's start right here.
Can we talk a little bit more about like that grad school shopper or other kind of resources that help with grad school? Because I'm pretty bad at like kind of like getting stuff done, especially if there's no like due date.
Sure.
So like just kind of like some hints maybe about how to go about shopping for grad. Also, small preface, like that's unique for my situation. I don't have like a green card, so I had to work for most of my undergrad. So it means I didn't have time to like do research or internships and stuff like that. So I was just wondering if you guys could talk more about that.
I will mention that on the YouTube channel, we had at a previous Zoom meeting, we talked about graduate school and preparing for graduate school. So there's a talk on there, so I would direct you to that. Okay. You want to talk more? You've been in the middle of this. So.
Yeah, so I'm in the middle of this right now because I missed applications last year. I was way too busy, so I'm doing applications now for next year. So one big thing with Grad School Shopper is that it displays the due dates for those grad applications, be it master's or PhD. I'm personally going for PhD. So it displays those due dates. Many of them are December 15th. There are some of them that are December 1st, December 31st, January 1st and 15th. A few that are February, but most of those due dates are December. So now and even a month before, really the times to be thinking about what you want to go to grad school for if you want to do grad school. So you can break, if you go to the website, you can break down, okay, I want only the programs that do astrophysics, galaxy evolution, cosmology, And it'll filter out those schools that have that. It'll show you their due dates and it'll bring you to their website to get more information and to actually apply. So what I do, I like to look through, I try to find 3 faculty that I would potentially want to do work with at that institution. I write down their contact info, their specialties, and I write down special stuff that I need to do for their application. Like, do they require the GRE? Do they require the physics GRE? Do they require some other strange thing? I keep track of those things and make little notes, and that's how I keep track of it so I can keep putting through my applications, making sure I'm reaching those deadlines. So that's how I best utilize the spreadsheet that they give you in Grad School Shopper. All right? Great question. That's awesome. We had another question?
Yeah, I think I might probably talk to you guys after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Do we have any other questions before we go off to the poster session? Any other points of discussion?
I'm kind of curious to know, like, so just a quick follow-up. How many of your chapters meet sort of say weekly? Okay. How many people meet monthly, say?
For
once or twice a month. Great, super. All right. How many people would like to meet but don't meet? Okay, that's okay. Yeah, so we can help you with all those things. We've got a lot of experience by reading through these chapter reports about ideas. So if you have things you want to meet and you don't know what to do, we can certainly help with that. I will do want to mention that I would really prefer not to take any of this stuff back home or, the folks in Marietta.
Take the stuff.
So yeah, we got the stuff on your way out. Take anything that you think you're interested in. Don't take my sweet account, but I know it's sure. But you can take all the brochures, okay?
And
Pencils, pens, all kinds of stuff.
over the course of this meeting, if you have anything you want to talk to us about, we are here for you. We are a resource for you.
One last thing. You can join the American Physical Society for free for the first year. So if you're not a member, you don't have to join. You can join for the first year for free. So you might check it out as well. Thanks.